Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper and today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite games of 2023. Now, I would say that this year has been an interesting year for games because we had some pretty good games being released this year. That have been like Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, Insomniac, Spider-Man 2, and a variety of other games. But this video, I'll just talk about some of my favourite games that have been released throughout the course of this year, whether that there were ports, um, uh, sequels, some DLC here and there, or continuation of a particular game, from a particular game that was released like let's say or so years ago or something like that. So yeah, that's what I'll be talking about in this video. So for number 5 is Persona 3 Portable. Now with this port, I would say it's a fine. It's in terms of a port being from like the PS Vita to all modern consoles. It's decent, I guess. I mean, I do enjoy it. The only thing that dragged it down a bit is probably the whole light novel aspect of the game, because every other Persona game, every mainline Persona game, sorry, Persona 4, Golden, 5, Royal, even the original Persona 3 and Fest all have places you can walk around in, whereas with Portable, you can still go to specific areas, but it's all point and click, and it's okay, I guess, but I'm more used to the other Persona walking around based stuff, and it is enjoyable. I do enjoy all the battle combat and stuff like that. Because it's Persona, I am used to the whole turn-based thing and choosing different personas and stuff like that. But it's a good game. But I don't know, and playing it, it has made me more excited for for Persona 3 Reload. So yeah, for number 4 is Persona 5 Tactica, as well as its DLC story, that being Repaint Your Heart. Now with this game, I do enjoy the story. I think the story is interesting because because the Phantom Thieves are brought into this other strange world, which is sort of similar to the metaverse in some ways, but it's slightly different. And one of those being that in terms of the combat, it's very different in the sense that that the that it's kind of like Fire Emblem meets Mario and the Rabbids games, whereas like you have like this sort of like big square arena thing, and you basically just use the different bits of the arena to help fight enemies and stuff like that, as well as the bosses. And then with Repaint Your Heart, it takes that strategy part of the game and kind of flips on its head a bit, where you have to like use the different your limited range to your advantage, as well as getting paint onto different parts of the map so you can use your personas before the enemy can completely cover it in paint and use that to their advantage. And it just takes the whole battle formation and just turn it on its head a bit. And I do like how in these two stories, with the main story, you've got the main Phantom Thieves with some additional characters, whereas with Repaint Your Heart, you've only got Joker as well as Kasumi and Akechi. So I think that's really cool, just limiting like the amount of people you can use and just seeing, just using your using tactics and strategy to win like particular battles and stuff like that. So yeah. For number 3 is God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. Now this DLC is really fun. It kind of reminds me of the Muspelheim trials in both Ragnarok and the 2018 game, and it's just really enjoyable. It's one of those things that I think is a nice addition to Ragnarok as well as the God of War series as a whole, because this game does bring up elements from the previous games that we've seen. Not only just the 2018 game, but also God of War 1, 2, and 3 because there are references to those previous games like Zeus, the Blade of Olympus, Hercules, and a variety of other characters from those games. And I do enjoy just everything that this game, well, not this game, this DLC has to offer. And I do enjoy the fights at the end that you can do. I'm not going to spoil it in case people haven't gotten to that point yet. But I would say that each battle does get harder and more difficult, and you really have to adapt on the fly, especially with the final fight before you finish the DLC, because that is a beast. That's like, it kind of reminds me of the Berserkers and the Valkyrie fights from the 2018 game and the base Ragnarok game, because this final fight is just difficult and it's really hard, and it kind of reminds me of those fights. So yeah. For number two is Persona 4 Golden. Now with this port to all modern consoles, I really enjoy it because I watched the anime first before I played Golden, the original anime that is for Persona 4, and I really enjoyed watching it because I saw some of the elements, well, pretty much all of the elements that the games or Persona 4 had to offer, and then when 4 Golden was ported over to all modern consoles, I had a really fun time enjoying just playing through the game and having just a fun time going through Inaba and just kind of experiencing all of these different characters and just seeing all the different social links and the different dungeons in the game. And I think one of the huge highlights are the dungeons because they are so different from each other. Because you've got a castle, you've got a world that's kind of like a video game world. You've got a dungeon that kind of looks like this sort of bunker military thing, and the list goes on and on. And it's so interesting that those dungeons are some of the best highlights in the game. And I do like all the cast of characters because you got Kanji, Rize, Narukami, the main character, Yosuke, and the other members of the investigation team, as well as a lot of the side characters as well. I think each character brings their own unique trace to the game, and I do enjoy the whole slice of life that this game has. So yeah. And for number one is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Now with this game, I think it was highly anticipated since it was announced back in 2018, 2019, when we got that first teaser trailer. And this game, I would say 100% delivers on a lot of the things that it brought, because it has a lot of dark elements to it. It has sky islands. It has like this underground depths to it. It's got the caves. It's got Ganondorf. It's just a lot of stuff, and I do really enjoy how it expands on the story and as well as the Zelda series as a whole. And yeah, I think it adds I think what I'm trying to say is it fixes a lot of the stuff that Breath of the Wild had, because with that game, especially with weapons, you would normally hoard a lot of the more stronger weapons and not really use them because they were so good. But with Tears of the Kingdom, it absolutely 100% fixes that with the abilities, especially with the fuse ability, because now you can now mix and match weapons with your materials, and they all have different effects and stuff like that, as well as additional bonuses. Like you might have a weapon that gets better with if you're in the rain or something, but it's got like a particular material that gives you 50 plus attack damage and stuff like that. So yeah, it's Tears of the Kingdom 100% fixes everything, and I do enjoy everything that this game has to offer. And there was a recent interview from Enuma, I think, saying that the Tears of the Kingdom Breath of the Wild era is fully concluded. Now we're moving on to a new game and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm happy with that, and Tears of the Kingdom is a really fun, enjoyable game. So yeah, so that's been my top 5 favourite games of 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.